Hello, my name is David Webb and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. My opponent has got off to a cracking start with Dorkia. I don't have a bingo. I do have the X, which is a good scoring tile, and I notice that there is a double letter square under the E of Dorkia. So I could play Ox. I would like to play off the U and split up the duplicate A's if possible, but Ox is my starting benchmark play, and that's 36 points. If there was a B, I would have Box Hall. I've got racks from either R of Dorkia, which would only be 26 points, 10 points less than Ox. I'm considering column 5 with the O of Dorkia to see if I can reach a double word square, but I can't see how to do that. I'm also considering the D in column 4. It looks like there may be something there. But I can't see it. Let's see how much Hoax scores across here. Splits up the duplicate A's. 25 points. That's so much less than Ox. Okay, let's see what it scores down here. £27 points. So 27 points. This is a really tricky situation because ALU is not a great leave. This is 9 points less than Ox. Well, 5 of those 9 are accounted for by splitting up the duplicate A. So this actually isn't going to be far off, and if it's not far off, I'd rather have a rack without retaining duplicates. Just scanning to see if I've missed anything obvious. And that's okay. Feels fairly close to a bingo. I would have Planuria through a P. Aularian through something, through an A, I think. Yeah, through an A, there isn't one. Manurial through an M, which there isn't. I'm considering the uni prefix. Now I need to consider the explicit floaters on the board. So there's the H, there's nothing through that. Nothing through the R or the K. I can't see anything through the I or the E. Aurelian. Have I got Aurelian? I think I have. Great. Okay, well that's Aurelian through the E of Dorkia. It's a face value bingo. So is it best? Aurelian for 60. Do I have something through the D of Poxt? Not that I can see. That's good. Oroids. Is there an anagram of oroids? I don't think that Aurelian takes an S. Dorkia certainly doesn't. I'm 21 points behind, and it's my opponent on turn. I've got the floating H in hoax. Can't see anything there. There's the K of Dorkia. I don't think Drukes is good. There's the N of Aurelian. Well, there may be something there. I'm hoping that my opponent will provide a place to play oroids. I don't think... I'm agonising over whether Aurelian takes an S. It may do, and I should know it. I should know this. I've got the ISO prefix and the oid suffix. There are a lot of floating vowels on the board, but with 4 vowels myself, I'm very unlikely to have a bingo through one of them. I notice also that the first R in Dorkia is available as a floater for a word ending ER. Odorize, oroids, odorize. I think odorize is good. Okay, so if odorize is good, and I think it is, does that go? Well, not on the board as it stands. Just wondering what 8-letter words my rack makes should my opponent make a play which adds an additional floater to the board. Well, nothing is jumping out at me, but I'm sure there are several 8-letter bingos available. Aurelian may take an S, but I'm not going to risk it. Well, my opponent is taking a while over this move, so he may be close to a bingo. I can't play my bingo in columns 8 or 10 because Dorkia obstructs a 7-letter bingo. I'm just wondering, just considering the other possible letters that could make an 8-letter bingo. Moidors is good, so if my opponent plays an M, that's good. Aqua takes an S. And oroids is actually better than odorize, because odorize would finish one above a double letter square. Okay, oroids 75. Aqua also takes an E at the end. So do I want to position this play one square south? I think I do, because what I was thinking that was a good idea because I was removing the E from being next to the triple letter square, but in fact all I'd be doing is then putting the O next to a triple letter square at F14. So I'm going, both placings score the same, so I'm going to stick with this one. And I draw a blank. I've got seedily, eyelids, neither of those goes. Note that the R of oroids is a slightly blocky tile because it only takes an E after it. Well, I'm fairly confident that I will have a playable bingo with this rack. Sheepily, I think, is good. That just fits, although it does open up row O. It would be nice to play through the first A of Aurelian and get a double-double. But then I'd be looking for a word with 4 vowels. And the Y is slightly obstructive. Generally, if you have a Y, bingos will either end or begin with that Y. And with this particular rack, I think it's very unlikely that I've got a bingo ending A blank Y. And there are far more bingos ending in Y than beginning with Y. Yearlies is good, but that doesn't fit. So my best spot for playing a bingo would probably be in columns 12 or 14 parallel to oroids. Probably column 12 would score better. So I ought to consider the alphabet in turn for the blank. I've noted already eyelids and seedily. Okay, that opportunity's been taken out, but my opponent has provided a T, so the triple word squares at A15 and O15 are available for a word ending or beginning with T. So I've got the IEST ending. So that would leave me with yell, Y-E-L. I don't think Yelpy is good, or Yelty. Okay, so what about a word beginning with T? And I note that I've got the LY and ILY ending. Just going to mentally run through the alphabet while also holding in mind having the T on my rack. I'm up to K and not seen anything. Up to P, steepily, actually I think it's epistyle. I think epistyle is good. Well, that doesn't hit the triple word square. Well, I can't see a word. I know cheesily is good because I played it a long time ago. And the advantage of cheesily over sheepily is that I'm, well, first I'm sure of it, and secondly the C doesn't take a letter in front. Now I know I've said before that making 2 openings is better than making just one, but my gut reaction in this sense is that cheesily is better than sheepily. I suspect there may be a better bingo available, but I haven't seen it, so it's time to move on. Good, I have the J. And I'm considering whether I've got a word. Well, let me just say straight away I have tri-jet and jitter. I don't have anything through the Y of cheesily, which uses the J. So I'm considering the triple word square at A8 for a 5-letter word or a 6-letter word. I don't have a 6-letter word because I don't have a tile that can go in front of the U. Gosh, my opponent has not taken out O1. I'm surprised. Unfortunately, I can't use it myself. Jilt is good. So I could play jilt at B12. I could play it at B10. That would be 29 points. And jilt has a good rack leave, ERT. I note that fence takes an R. It takes an R at the end. Great. Glad I didn't overlook this. Tri-jet. I'm sure this is going to score more than jilt. Let's see how much more. 50 points. Okay, well that's fine, and it obstructs the triple word square at O1. Doesn't stop my opponent using it altogether, but it certainly restricts him to a 3-letter word or a word coming down column 1. Tri-jet. There's no obvious place where my J could score more, and I think the optimal move will almost certainly be using the J. Okay, well after a run of nice racks, I hit a bit of turbulence, 7 consonants, but I have the Z, and there are floating vowels on the board. So I've got Tsar through the A of Aurelian, only 13 points. I don't have to play the Z off in a hurry. It's a good scoring tile. It's not a bingo-y tile, but this isn't a bingo-y rack, so my priority is to play off a whole bunch of consonants, preferably 4 consonants. I could play block, BLOC, at E11, which would play off 3 of them. I'd like to split up the C and the V. I think it's unlikely that I'll be able to play both. I notice that I could play Z at J12, 28 points, but the rack leave is pretty terrible. But one is always juggling the rack leave with the score, and one mustn't, you can't regard either in isolation. So I'm probably going to be switching between considering what I can score with the Z and how many consonants I can play off. There are a number of vowels on the board. I'm wondering if I can play through 2 vowels, for example the A and the O in row E, that would enable me to play off a lot of my consonants. But those sorts of play are quite often difficult to spot. Okay, I can't see anything through the A and the O. Do I have any other separated vowels? No, I don't. So that's the only spot of that sort. So is this a rack I should be changing with? I can't use the Y at O1. Well, I can't use it in a meaningful way. I could just play BY, but keeping 6 consonants is definitely not optimal. Okay, now has my opponent enabled me to play through the A and the O? Cold War, the A and the O are in the wrong order, and it's not good anyway. Through the W, I'd need to consider a prefix such as word. No, I can't see anything through that. Now my opponent has with his move, inadvertently I suspect, taken out both the A and the O. So I am left with the I at M2 and the E at J13. So firstly the I could play Vild, 16 points, keeping B, C, R, Z. Well, that's not too bad. It stops my opponent playing down column 1. I think that's better than changing, and I do have a 60-point lead. Can I do better than Vild? Well, there is the J12 spot, and I can play down from that and double my score. So can I play down and play off either the C or the B? Well, there's back, but that's only playing 2 tiles, BAC. There's bald, but that doesn't play off the C or the V. Bald and barred. Well, this is a tricky rack. There probably isn't a great deal between this and changing, but there's a fair bunch of vowels left in the bag, so I will probably draw 1, so I shouldn't face this total wall of consonants. Jolly good, I draw 2 vowels. I've got crows at A8, and that's a triple word square, triple word score, which places the Z on the double letter square at D8. Now that's going to be a big score. Hopefully my opponent leaves it open. If he does take it, what else do I have? This is a really good pickup. I'm quite fortunate to be looking at this rack given my previous one. I could play Bez at J12 for 38 points, and that would leave CEORS, which is a really bingo-y set of tiles. I know that Zebek is good were a floating E to be available. But crows is the play. That would leave BS. What else is available? I'm looking at the score. We've both got 7.5 minutes left on our clock. There are 28 tiles in the bag. So actually we're both under a small amount of time pressure. Excellent, my opponent has not taken this spot. Let's see what this scores. 80 points. Well, that's bingo territory. And I draw the second blank, and that looks promising. I've got bobcats. Not sure it plays anywhere. I was just looking above in row N above trijet, but ot isn't good. But that is a place where I could play a 7-letter word. Maybe I've got one beginning BA. I don't think barbots is good. Okay, I need to mentally run through the alphabet. I'm fairly sure I will have a bingo here. Well, before I run through the alphabet, I've got the boat suffix, so I'm looking at column 15, words ending boat. That would leave BST. Nope, can't see anything there. What about words beginning with the T? No, I think I'm initially going to consider 7-letter words because there's a good chance one may play in row N. Okay, there's bobcats with the C. Up to H, and I haven't seen anything else. Ah, Bat Boys. I think Bat Boys is good. I could easily have made that up. It sounds plausible. Batman is good. If Batman is good, is Bat Boy good? One reason it may not be good is that Bat Boy has got 2 B's and a Y, so it may just have slipped under the probability threshold of words that I've studied. Well, I certainly will try Bat Boys if I don't think of anything else. Okay, well, I certainly wasn't up to Y in my considerations. Okay, I'm up to L. Bombast, and that's the same problem. That would place the O in front of the T. Barbots. Oh gosh, is barbots good? Possibly. I'm actually feeling increasingly confident about Bat Boys. But I will finish the alphabet. I'm up to T. Okay, well, that's exhausted the alphabet. I've got Bat Boys in row N, I think. Now, I've already considered the T of Vint. My next consideration is row A with the C. I don't think I've got a word ending in C because that would probably end IC. And I can't see any anagrams of bobastic. So I'm considering words beginning with C. In particular beginning cab and cob, because I think these B's are going to need to be split up. So I've got the boat suffix. I can't see anything. I think I'm going to go with Bat Boys. I do have a 110-point lead. I do have the blank, so I should be able to survive if this is challenged off, although that would be annoying. Okay, well, that is a promising looking rack. I've got the ing ending. I don't think muching is good, although it may be. I don't think it is. What else do I have? Well, if this stays on the board, I have, and it does, and my opponent scores just 13, so I've got nearly a 200-point lead, so that's pretty much the game sewn up. Certainly don't want to miss a bingo, but I don't think I have one playable on this rack. I only need to consider the T of Vint and the floaters in crows. Everything else is not available. So looking at the tiles that are left, there are 9 in the bag, 7 on my opponent's rack, and there are 9 vowels out there. So if I'm playing off some of my, well, any of my tiles, there's a good chance I'll pick up a vowel. I'm looking at the Y of Cheesley in the bottom left of the screen. So I could play MY, only 21 points, that's not great. I've got just under 4 minutes left. I note that I could place my M at F10 on the triple letter square, making Umu. So I could play, well, MUR is not good. I think that's a phony I've played before. Well, I could play Hem at J12. 23 points. But the rack leave of GINTU isn't promising. Be nice to play off the U. I know there are no U's left, but the floaters in crows and T are nice floaters, so I ought to be, given that the game is won, it would be nice to optimise my chances of a bingo, and I think playing off the U would increase that possibility. So am I missing anything? Well, this doesn't play off the U, but I could either play them, leaving GINU, or I could play off thane, THEGN. That's 29 points. Yeah, that's a bigger score than thane, and I think the UNIG leave is slightly better. I suspect this is not optimal, but I am mindful of the time. Well, that looks reasonably promising, but I can't see anything. No, well, I can't see a bingo. There are 6 tiles in the bag, so I may get another shot at one, and this should be an easier rack to resolve. Jip is good, playable at 01, 27 points, which is a good score. Rack leave is not good at all. Let's see what my opponent plays. He's got just under 4 minutes left. I've got 2 minutes on my clock. I'm considering if I have any words ending with Z, which reaches the double word square at D4. And I can't see one. Aurelian does not take a front hook. I haven't totally abandoned... Well, yes I have. There is no bingo with this rack, so I'm not looking for one. Row C is a possibility. Okay, my opponent plays off an S for 7 points, blocking the T, floater and vint. So I could play pugs at B14. Well, that doesn't feel great. Five tiles left. Gosh. Well. Okay, I'm going to have to play quickly because the time is zooming down. I don't like this play. And that's the reason I kept a vowel preponderant rack, and I've drawn vowels, and that was predictable. So that's a little bit annoying. I played off 2 high-scoring tiles when there were very few high-scoring tiles in the bag, so I'm left with an unpromising rack. But it doesn't really matter in terms of the end result of the game, but it's always desirable to try and play optimally. Now, there are 3 tiles in the bag, so my opponent will take some or all of them. So I'll probably be looking to play out in 2. I'm just looking at the high-scoring tiles on the board to see if any are available. I'm not sure there are any great spots. There's the W, the first W of wow. But even there I'm struggling to see a way of playing many tiles. Just wondering if I have any long words that are playable onto the floaters of crows. But nothing is coming to mind. My opponent has now got just over a minute left, so he's going to be playing pretty soon. Well, them takes an A and an E at the end, so I could play A, U, A at J15. It's not great. That would leave me with Oni, O-N-I-E, which is good in its own right. But I can't see anywhere to play it. This is a bit of a messy endgame. I don't have the time or the tiles to play optimally. But at least there are opportunities for scoring. I'm just wondering if there's anywhere else for A, U, A. Well, my opponent is very close to going overtime. And he does. So he's now got exactly 1 more minute left. If that minute expires, the game is forfeited. He's already incurred a 10-point penalty by going overtime. Okay. Well, there are 2 tiles left. And I think they were both, well, one was the N, one was the vowel. So I have Coneyine at A8. Ooh, that plays as well. My opponent's gone out. Okay, so I click pass to finish. Well, yeah, that was a nice finish by my opponent. Let me just thank him for the game. Yeah, what I should have done is realise that my opponent could play a bingo and block it. I didn't. I didn't think that he did have a bingo, looking at the tiles that were left. So that's what I should have been doing. I should have probably been playing through the sea of crows. Anyway, the final score is 540 to 366, which is quite a comprehensive win. Let's see what else I missed. And I'm mindful of the time, so I'll try and go through this quite speedily. Well, Ox was the highest scoring play, and then the other plays were some of the ones I considered. Aurelian was the only bingo. Oroids and Odorize were the only bingos. M3, it's recommending Oroid, so Aurelian did take an S. Iliads at E4. Okay, that was the play which I didn't see, which was the double-double through the A of Aurelian, and plenty of other bingos available. Trijet was the highest scoring there. This was the move. Well, very difficult to say what's optimal when you're keeping so many consonants. Crows for 80, that was my play. And wow, Bat Boys was the only bingo. Well, I'm delighted to have spotted it. Ah, look at that. Mutching was good. I considered it and rejected it. Okay, well, that was a miss. And here, well, this is where I played Jip, but difficult to assess optimality. And likewise a whole bunch of low scoring moves here. And then my opponent went out. So that was quite an interesting game. Lots of bingos and a missed bingo as well. So I hope you enjoyed watching it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.